Another strong shalom to all of the mighty brothers that go out there and labor on the highways and byways, making their body a living sacrifice. And the rain, the tumults, the demons, the uprises, the uproars, they're out there standing 10 toes down for the name of the Lord. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty brothers that are not out there as of yet, but building themselves up, reading, praying, fasting, being diligent, on fire for the Lord, doing everything they could do to put themselves in a position to shake the hand and wake up the hopeful elect. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty Aqua in this thing, actually sincerely reverencing their husbands, being teachers of good things to the children at home, being quiet, shamefaced, submissive, loving, steadfast, cooking, sewing, cleaning, doing all of the righteous acts of our foremothers on fire for the Lord. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty Aqua that are not married as of yet, but building themselves up, being quiet, shamefaced, submissive, right, doing everything they could do to magnify the ministry. Another strong shalom to all of the children in this thing, abstaining from all lust and concupiscence and peer pressure, standing 10 toes down for the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And last but not least, another strong shalom to all of the entire nation that's on fire for the Lord, doing the works of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right, it's going to be a quick breakdown, right, a quick lesson, or don't give your strength over to a woman. Because a lot of brothers, a lot of kings, a lot of princes, a lot of prophets, a lot of mighty men have given their strength over to a woman, man. And when you actually dive deep into it, everything associated with wickedness is parabolically inclined into a woman, whether it be an ideology, a philosophy, a way of living, right, a principality, a nation, right there likened unto women. Because you have wicked women in the society. Not all sisters are wicked. You got a lot of righteous sisters that help the households. They cook, they exhortate, right? They clean, right? They be a strong pillar. They do everything they have to do to magnify the name of the Lord, man. And look at you as the Lord. You understand? And treat you as the Lord in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. But you have a lot of sisters, they're crafty, cunning, they're liars, deceivers, right? They overthrow you. They sift out your mind. Next thing you know, you're serving them, and you don't even know how and why this is going on, man. But you have to beware those things. And brothers can't forget who they are. A lot of brothers tend to forget you're a king walking the earth. Out of all things created, man has the preeminence. Man has the glory. You understand? Everything created, man has the rulership. Right, let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 32, and verse number 1. Behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment. A man shall be as in a hiding place from the wind. And we know that wind is destruction. The Lord said a man is going to be like a hiding place in that day. When all hell was breaking loose, and people are getting killed and destroyed, and famine and pestilence, women are going to be looking to a man. They're not going to be looking to their sisters. They're not going to be looking, right, to TV shows and movies and media and the internet, man. The whole world is going to be looking for a man. Not just any man, the righteous man, the elect man, the man that knows the precepts, the breakdowns, the man that knows how to read, you understand, to know what the east is, the west is, the way the direction the wind blows, that has the understanding, that have strength and faith. Everybody's going to be looking to a man. And a convert from the tempest, a rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. So the Lord said a man is going to be strong, and he's going to be like waters in a dry land, man. When nobody else knows what to do, how to move, where to go, that man is going to lead with strength and direction. Think of your father, man. And you were a kid. Somebody knocking on the door, beating on it, trying to get in. You're not looking for grandma. You're not looking for your auntie. You're looking for your father. And that's spiritual, man. When all hell breaks loose in our life, I'm not looking for anybody else but Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And your wife and your woman has to know that, man. They have to know that when all else fails, when they need help, when they need leadership and strength, that they have to literally beseech you. Because you're beseeching the Lord. There's a chain of command. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, man, women, and children. Let's go to the book of 1 Kings chapter 21 and verse number 5. 1 Kings chapter 21 and verse 5. But Jezebel, his wife, came to him and said unto him, Why is thy spirit so sad, that thou eatest no bread? And he said unto her, Because I spake unto Naboth the Jezreelite, and said unto him, Give me thy vineyard for money, or else, if it please thee, I will give it another vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give thee my vineyard. And Jezebel his wife said unto him, Doest thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? And that's what a woman will do, man. They'll stir you up. Aren't you the king? Aren't you the leader? Aren't you the prince? Aren't you the man? And they start to push those buttons. And a lot of weak brothers, they'll let a woman direct every which way that they move, like a puppet, man. I mean, if you really cared about me, we'll live here. Now he done picked up a third job. Now he's not reading anymore. He's barely fasting. He's not spending any time with the children. All to make the woman happy. Right? If you're really this, why, that, why, you'll do this. Now the brother sitting up there trying to fight another brother, man. Right? And he gets jumped, or he gets killed, he gets locked up, all for a woman. With a woman, don't let nobody what they think defer the spirit of judgment of what the Most High said, man. And that's exactly what this man did. He let this woman get inside of his head to pervert judgment. It says this, Now Jezebel the wife said unto him, Doest thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let thy heart be merry. So now she's telling him what to do. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite. So she wrote letters in Ahab's name. So this woman had to be confident enough to do something like that. The Lord has said, don't give no water, no room for passage, paraphrasing greatly, nor liberty a wicked woman to gather abroad. Everything's supposed to be in line, in order. Can't have your woman thinking she could just take your car and go God knows where and don't tell you about it. That's off. This woman took it upon herself to write letters in another man's name. She's asserting authority. She's doing leadership. She's doing craftiness behind his back, forging signatures, ruling the kingdom. All of this is the accounts that we got to look at, man. This man didn't have his house in order. Now, peradventure, your woman, she may be evil. She may be going off. God knows what. You pray for that sister. And you have patience with her. But you do not bend, nor do you trim your ways, nor do you bow down to anybody but Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, man. I don't care what's going on. If she tries to take the children and leave, let her leave, man. I'd rather fall into the hands of the Most High than to fall into the hands of men. If she threatens you to do God knows what, to lie on you, or deceive and manipulate and pull this string and that string, brother, don't bow down your spirit and your heart to this woman, man. Because you're serving other gods. It says, unto the elders of the nobles that were in the city dwelling with Naboth. And she wrote in the letters, saying, proclaim a fast and set Naboth on high among the people. So who is this woman to tell not only her husband what to do, but the princes and the nobles, man? Let's go to the book of Proverbs 31 and verse number 3. And it reads, it's the book of Proverbs 31 and 3. Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroy kings. And your ways could destroy you by you giving your strength over to a woman. You're supposed to read for the day, but instead you take her out on a date. You're supposed to do a breakdown and fast, but instead you trim your ways for love, because this is the only day you have off. You were supposed to counsel that brother because his marriage or his household or his children are in an uproar, but instead you're too busy cuddled up on the couch with your woman. Giving your strength isn't always at the highest degree. You could give your strength over on small matters. He that can tame a small thing shall what? Fall little and little. The woman is gaining more strength, more power, more leadership, and she'll direct you when to fast. She'll direct you when to call or to make that breakdown. Because you done gave so much strength over to this woman that is perverting your mind and your judgment and the decisions that you're making. Because it'll destroy your king. What kings got destroyed, man, by a woman? Adam. He literally got pushed by this woman to come up against, you understand, the ordinances of what were already laid down by the Most High. Right? You got Samson. He got literally sifted out and pushed in a corner by a woman. Solomon, he was a king. He gave his strength over to these women, and what happened? It perverted the whole kingdom. So you got to understand how serious it is by listening and giving your strength over to a woman. Man has the last say so. Man has the judgment. Man has the rulership, leadership, and dominion. Women are supposed to help. Literally, women were created to be a helpmeet, not a leader, not a provider, not a dictator. This is not a monarchy on her behalf. And you have to know that. Yeah, you want to listen. You want to be wise. Women have excellent advice. Women have excellent counsel. Women have excellent spirits right on the right-hand side to help you make wise decisions. But once it starts to peel over to your strength is starting to be given to this woman, right? You gotta understand that, man. Let's go to the book of Sirach 33 and 19. This is Sirach chapter 33 and 19. And it reads, give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend, power over thee while thou livest. And you can't give anybody power over you. Power over you could be the smallest things, but you don't realize it, right? You told your wife one thing, but she just keeps being adamant and keep pressing the issue. Okay, you win. Brother, that's giving your strength over to it. If your mind is set on the judgment in your household, don't pervert it. Don't bow down into somebody else's spirit and whatever the case may be. If you told your children no, they can't have any juice, and they just batting their eyes, but daddy, I'm thirsty. And they just start, giving you a hug and twinkling their, okay. Well, brother, if that's the spirit you in, right, then what's stopping you from being sifted out by America? America's going to bat its eyes. America's going to come to you day by day. America's going to push you. America's going to incline her ways and try to force you, like you read about in Proverbs, the 7th chapter. You can't give your strength over to that. It said, while thou livest, and give not thy goods to another, lest it repent thee. You say no, and then pervert your ways and give your strength over to God knows who, and then repent thee. Because the Lord can execute a judgment on you by being a reprobate, by being double-minded, by letting somebody else rule your household and your kingdom other than you. And thou entreat for the same again. As long as thou hast, Salakia, as long as thou livest and hast breath in thee, give not thyself over to any. For better is it that thy children should seek to thee. A lot of people are seeking to their children. How they feel, what they want, perverting judgment on what they got going on, and seeking after their emotions and seeking after their wife's feelings and just seeking after people. Better is them to seek you. Why? Because you're the judge. You have a stronger spirit. You know judgment better than they do. You're thinking the same way as your head, Yahushua. So they should be thinking the same way as you. The Lord, when is the account that the Lord perverted his judgment for man? No, it's not in the Bible. And we may think sometimes the Lord may have harsh judgment. We may think that I don't really understand why the Lord did that. Why does Yahushua move like this? He's austere, man. Why is there so much bloodshed in the Bible? Are you going to buck up against the Lord because you don't understand something? Are you going to buck up against the Lord because it's not what you want to do? And because you're the bride and you're Israel, that he has to reason with you all the time? I mean, isn't the scriptures likened it to a marriage? Did not the Lord say to treat your wife as Yahushua treated the church? Where is the accounts of Yahushua trimming his ways for the church? It's not in there. But yet somebody weak in the spirit could say, well, you don't love me. You don't care about me. Well, the Lord doesn't care about me. Well, that would be a fool, man. That would be a reprobate. That would be somebody that never truly loved Yahushua from the foundation of the earth. Your wife has to know that whatever you do is for the best interest of the house, the children, and your life to get the kingdom. Let's go to the book, right, of Esther, chapter 1 and verse 9. Right? Let's go to the mighty book of Esther, right, chapter 1 and verse number 9. And it reads, also Vashti the queen made a feast for the women and the royal house which belongeth to King Artaxerxes. And on the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mesallam and Besra and Harbanan and Bethra and Abatha and Zerah and Carcas and the 7 chamberlain that served in the presence of King Salakia of Artaxerxes the king, to bring Vishti the queen before the king with the crown royal, to shew the people the princess her beauty, for she was fair to look on. So one thing this man, his mind wasn't right in, is that he's giving his woman too much strength. Why are you making a whole feast just to show this woman, man? That's idol worship. Your mind's already not right. That's the same spirit of renting out a whole damn a whole restaurant, and everybody, all right, I'm gonna pay everybody, and when she come in the room, everybody start clapping, and then we're gonna have to set the balloons off. That's a damn birthday party, man. That's idol worship. So already from the foundation, this man was giving too much strength over to this woman. Where's the account that you need to make a whole feast for 127 providences just to show a woman's beauty and to put her on a pedestal, man? When there were warriors in your kingdom that risked their lives, that won battles. When there were men of wise counselors that had the same attributes that you have as a heathen. But yet this woman that has not killed anybody, went to war, has any glory, but just because of the strength that he gave and the love that he had for her, he made a feast and put her up on high. Verse 12, but the queen Vishti refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains. Therefore the king was very wroth, and his anger was burned in him. Jumping down to verse number 17. For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes. When shall be reported the king Artaxerxes commanded Vishti the queen to be brought in before him, but she came not, man. And that's what women do. You give too much strength over to women, they know you weak. They know you a joke, man, in a game. You give a woman a kingdom like he did, made a feast, still take everything for granted. And that goes to show you that that's justified, man. Because why would you do that to begin with? Why would you give your spirit and your mind over to this woman to the point where she can manipulate the elements and not do and come when she wants? And that's off, man. Every woman, her pleasure and joy, other than serving the Most High and his beloved son Yahushua, should be helping her husband. Don't you know when sisters help their husband, they're helping their own flesh? When sisters help their husband, they're helping their whole household get the kingdom. Because a man could be out the spirit, and a woman helped that man to be in the spirit, and then he was on fire, and his righteousness rests on the household. Where's the account where the woman righteousness rests on the household and can save the whole household? That's not in the Bible. Yeah, through a woman's righteousness, she can, provoke righteousness upon her husband to be on fire. But all dominion and power and things of strength belong to the man. So it should be your chief desire to push your husband to be on fire. Because if peradventure you don't make it, your children might. Peradventure your husband is on a downfall, you push him, now he's exhortating and giving other people counsel. Making videos, growing in strength. These are the things that women have to extremely realize, man. Verse 18. Likewise should the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the kings, princes, which have heard the deeds of the queen. Thus shall they arise too much contempt and wrath. So this man had to remove this woman out of the kingdom, because he knew that if he were to keep her on the pedestal that he had her, it would pervert and overthrow the whole entire kingdom. Every woman would start disrespecting their husband. Every woman would stop caring about their households and being disrespectful, all because of one woman. And that goes to show you, man, a little leaven leaveneth up the whole lump. Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 19 and 14. Houses and riches are the inheritance of fathers. So if you're going to have anything, it should be in your name. You should have dominion and preeminence over it. The Lord said houses and riches are the inheritance of fathers. A lot of people that may just put their woman on the lease and, I trust you. It is what it is. and he's not on the lease. Or he put her on the lease and it's some blurred lines. He just signed a contract because he trusts his woman. Or he just put all his possessions in her name. Yeah, that's my woman, you know what I'm saying? I'm just giving her everything. You know, I love her and I trust her. We all one flesh. No, the Lord said houses and riches. Because if a man is in the truth, he follows the Lord, he's on fire for Yahweh Shem Yahushua, there's nothing he wouldn't give his wife. And that's actually the law to clothe her, to give her food. Where's the law for the woman to do that for the man? It's not there. So I trust and give your woman things that are not biblical to do, just because you've been brainwashed in the westernized mindset of Babylon. No, if I'm a man of the Lord, like every man should be, and I'm on fire for Yahweh Shem Yahushua, I'm going to work them hours, man. I'm going to be humble. I'm going to clothe her. I'm going to make sure that she has food and raiment. She's taken care of. And anything she needs, I'm going to be right there to provide for her. But to give you inheritance over, to not have the preeminence over anything, if anything were to transpire or go down, and your household, your legacy, and your inheritance could be snatched from you like America designs it to be, then that's off, man. How many people are getting prenups and different things? And, you know, a prenup isn't off, man. Yeah, you want to set up things per adventure if you were to pass away, or, you know, if anything were to happen to you that your wife is taken care of. That's being wise and prudent. But you have a lot of women like taking basketball players, you know, just laying down with them, being whores and taking their money. Men, you know, just taking them because they know they got cars and a little bit of money, and just perverting them and taking everything from them. And that was them in the first place, not to set order and a foundation for the household to be laid. It says, and a prudent wife is from the Lord. So prudence from a wife and everything is of the Lord. Let's go to Judges 16:5. This is Judges chapter 16 and verse number 5. And the lords of the Philistines came up upon her and said unto her, entice him. And that's spiritual, man. Because these demons will come on a woman to tell that woman to do what? To entice that man. Because the man reads every day. The man is always giving his heart and his soul into Yahweh Shem Yahushua. But guess what? Satan knows how to sift you out and get to you. It's by a woman. Whether it be a philosophy, a doctrine, America, your wife, you courting a woman, a second wife, presumptuously had and made, presumptuous courting. Satan knows how to get to you, man. And whatever's going on, he's going to find that crack and that crevice to get to you and see whether his great strength lieth, and by what means we may prevail against him. Check that out. That we may bind him to afflict him. Think how serious this is. You laying on the bed all day talking to your woman. Yeah, my chief, you know, I'm really scared of spiders. You know, and this, and you start pouring out your whole heart. Satan is using her to gather up intel, emotions, feelings, to get plagued you, to sift you out. You got to perceive how wicked Satan uses his devices upon man to be, man. It says, and we will give, Salakia, and we will give thee, every one of us, 1,100 pieces of silver. And Delilah said to Samson, tell me, I pray thee, where thy great strength lieth. Did not the Lord say, don't give your strength over to a woman? But yet this woman is asking, where is your strength? Where does it lie? And wherewith thou mayest be bound to afflict thee. Why is a woman asking how to afflict you, man? That's off. You got to perceive, okay, this is going on. Okay, Satan is using her. I have to be patient right here. I have to excel judgment right here. I don't care if there's crying going on, snot coming out the nose. I don't care what's going on. If I know this precept to be true, and the Lord put it in my heart, and I ask counsel, or I fasted on this matter, hey, look, I'm going to stand on this matter, man. I don't care how much crying and snot and you keep stroking my arm and rubbing my hair. That's called seduction. And seduction is nothing more than witchcraft. You're using devices to get what you want. Don't people rub crystal balls to get what they want? Rub genie lamps to get what they want? Cut and deal with blood to get what they want. They're using something to conjure up a reaction of something that's going against what was already said and done. That's witchcraft. It says, and Samson said unto her, if thou bind me with 7 green withs. And that was his first mistake, because he should have never consulted with this woman in the first place. He should have rebuked her. Sometimes you got to rebuke your woman, man. Every conversation isn't up for discussion. Or just rebuke anybody, man, for that matter. Children, well, why can't I go to the mall? Everybody else goes. Well, you can't go because X, Y, Z. No, brother, you're entering into judgment with a child. You made up your mind. You said what you said. If they cry, if it brings spirits on them, they got to take it up with the Most High. When did we crying out because the Lord didn't give us something that the Most High overrides Yahweh, man? Where is that out in the Bible? And that just goes to show you how a lot of women don't respect their husbands. A lot of children don't respect their fathers and their mothers, man. Because they go against or they push that notion and the fact to come against what was already laid down. I'm going to jump down. I'm not going to read this whole thing. I'm going to jump down to verse number 10. Because it's spiritual. This woman asked him 3 times, where your strength lies. And the Lord may give you over to that, man. You may deny your woman once. Can we live in Chicago? Nah, I don't think we should live there. And she just keep asking. But I always dreamed to live in Chicago. Yeah, I know, we can't because, the climate goes changing. Da-da-da-da-da. My job's not. Can we move to Chicago? She just keep asking you. And by the 3rd time, you're considering it. The 3rd time, you're giving your mind to it. The 3rd time, you packing your bag in your suitcase. And the 3rd time, man, the Lord give you over to that spirit. Next thing you know, you living in Chicago, man. You go broke. Lord overthrow your job situation. Your wife leave you. Now you're stuck trying to pay rent in a strange land, man, in a strange city. Trying to figure out why in the first place did you put yourself in this situation. And Samson, the 3rd time he yielded his strength over to this woman and told her where his great strength lies. Verse number 10. And Delilah said unto Samson, behold, thou hast mocked me, and thou hast told me lies. Now tell me, I pray thee, wherewith thou mayest be bound. And Delilah said unto Salakia, and he said unto her, if thou bind me fast with new ropes and never were occupied, then shall I be weak and be as other men. Delilah took new ropes and bound him wherewith, and she said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And there were liars in wait abiding in the chamber, and he brake them from off his arms like a thread. And Delilah said unto Samson, there were 2, as thou mocked me. Thou hast told me lies. Check this out. Tell me wherewith thou mayest be bound. And he said unto her, if thou weavest 7 locks of my head with the web, and she fastened it with the pin. So he could already see this woman is trying to sift him out. He could perceive it. But yet his strength and his love and being enticed is so strong that it overrides his judgment. It said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awaked out of sleep and went away with the pin of the beam and with the web. And she said unto him, how canst thou say I love thee when thy heart is not with me? And your wife could say, you don't love me. If you love me, you would do this. If you love me, you would do that. If you love me, you'll show me this. That's witchcraft. How you going to proclaim my love for you by your own wicked devices, by what you want, man? And men are too weak. They'll fall for that. If you love me, you'll buy me that car. If you love me, you'll listen to me more. And you done listen 75 times, man. 7 times 7. At this point, I'm giving my strength over to you, man. To this spirit and demon that you got on you. If you love me, you would drive me to the mall with the other sisters. If you love me, you'll buy my baking set, because my dream is to be a baker. If you really loved me. Well, when did love dictate the spirit of what you get? And if you don't get what you want, then that's not love. I thought love was when you don't fear in anything, because there's no fear in perfect love. But perfect love casteth out fear. That's why you got to see Satan for where Satan is and where he dwells. Because he's going to creep on you, man. Your children. You didn't buy me this, Dad, so do you really love me? I can't spend the night over Baba Bop's household. Does that really mean that you love me? I don't get this and I don't get that. Well, oh well, man. It is what it is. You got to have thick skin sometimes, man. Hey, the Lord has thick skin. The Lord isn't crying and boo-hooing in the third heaven because you turned your back on him. Hey, the Lord said it isn't that you have turned your back on me, but you have turned your back on yourself. And 2 Esdras 1:25 all the way down. So when your woman turns her back on you, it's not that she's turning her back on you, man. She's turning her back on Yahushua. And through her wicked devices, she's going to see that, man. And you can't yield your strength over to a woman. It's going to overthrow you. Nobody on this live and nobody watching this live is mightier than Adam, mightier than Solomon, mightier than Samson. No, these men were very, very wise men. Samson was a judge. And even in his judgment and being a judge, he still got overthrown in judgment. Solomon being the wisest man. Though he knew mysteries and allegories and ants, spiders and insects and elements and fire and wind and water, how things were created and moved, the elements of the beginning and end of time, yet still, that woman overthrew him. Adam, which named all living creatures, which was the first chosen in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua to govern and lead the nation, he got overthrown by what? By a woman. It says this, and she said unto him, how canst thou say I love thee when thy heart is not with me? Well, why does your heart have to be with you, man? What scripture is that? No, the Lord said a husband and wife have to agree together. So if we're not agreeing together, we can enter into judgment with that issue. But the last decision is of the man. And if she doesn't agree to that, then y'all not agreeing together. So that really falls on the woman. It says, thou hast mocked me these 3 times and has not told me wherein thy great strength lieth. And it came to pass when she pressed him daily with her words. And a woman oppress you daily with her words, whether it be crying, sorrow. Your children oppress you daily with words. Yo, can I do this? Can I go here? Hey, no means no, man. Let the Lord tell you something and you just keep asking and keep asking. You know what the Lord is going to do? Read Romans, the 1st chapter, verse 25, 26, all the way down. Because you didn't like to retain God in your knowledge, he's going to give you over to a reprobate mind to do the things which are not convenient. Meaning, I told you no, don't go down this pathway. You keep asking me about this pathway. Go ahead, man. Go see what's down that pathway. I already told you no. And what's down that pathway? Destruction is down that pathway. Anything of rebellion, anything of witchcraft, anything of wanting preeminence, wanting to be equal, anything of entering into judgment with a woman after you have already laid down a foundation, brother, you're dealing on a very, very, very thin line between being a reprobate, giving your strength over to a woman, overthrowing your house, overthrowing judgment, and doing all things which are not convenient. And it may come a situation in your life as a man, you know, where somebody may not be on the level that you are. Children are on your level. So they may not understand why you're so, what they would think, mean. When in actuality, I'd rather take this stab, or this cut rather, than to be shot. Because I could foresee my household that I'd rather deal with this little hill than to deal with that mountain later. And children can't see that. They're going to pout. They're going to be angry. But guess what? Your house is still in order. It's intact. You made a righteous judgment. But yielding too much of an offense of how you feel and entering into emotions, which are spirits, then that's going to pervert your eyes, man, and overthrow you. And it came to pass when she pressed him daily with her words and urged him so that his soul was vexed unto death. And a man may be so vexed, he may give his wife whatever she wants, man, because he's just tired of it by now. Okay. All right, you got it. Didn't that happen in Luke, the 18th chapter? With that woman? Let me get that real fast. It says she worried this judge so much to the point where the judge had to behold her cry, man. Because she was so persistent. Because he was weak. Let's go to the book of Luke chapter, let me get this real fast. It's Luke 18 and verse 2. Saying there was in a city which feared, Salakia, a judge in the city which feared not God, neither regarded man. And there was a widow in that city. She came unto him, saying, avenge me of my adversary. And when he would not for a while, but afterward he said unto himself, though I fear not God, nor regard man, yet because this woman troubleth me. And your woman could trouble you, man. You're like, all right already. Okay. Damn, put a spirit on you, man. To the point where you just my effort. I'm not trying to battle this every day. Go ahead, go to the mall, man. Here the car keys. Okay, you can work that job. All right, damn it, we'll buy another car. Okay, it's not that serious. Brother, it is that serious. Now your bills all jammed up. Now you working another job. Brother, it is that serious. Don't ever think that things aren't that serious. The Lord said he should bring every action into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be little or whether it be much, man. So like whether it be good or whether it be evil. Right? It says this. Yet because this one widow troubleth me, I will avenge her, lest by her continual coming she weary me, man. And you have to perceive and understand that, man. You could get wearied in this thing. Don't let the weariness overthrow the judgment. Salakia, bear with me. And let me get this other quick precept. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 14 and 3. It's Matthew chapter 14 and verse number 3. And it reads, it says, for Herod had laid hold on John the Baptist and bound him and put him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife. For John said unto him, it is not lawful for thee to have her. And when he would have put him to death, he feared the multitude because they counted him a prophet. Check this out. But when Herod's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodias danced before them and pleased Herod, whereupon he promised with an oath to give her whatsoever she would ask, man. Where is that at in the Bible to promise a woman just to give her whatever she wants? Because it's her birthday, or because she's happy, or because she's glad and she's in mirth. He put himself under an oath to give this woman whatsoever she asked for, man. It says this. It says, whereupon he promised with an oath to give her whatsoever she would ask. And she being before instructed of her mother, said, give me John, Salakia, give me here John Baptist's head in the charger. And the king was sorry, nevertheless, for the oath's sake, and them which sat with him had meat, he commanded it to be given her. So he's sorry on a judgment, but yet his sorrowfulness, the spirit of that woman and what she wants overrides his judgment. You may be sorry in something, huh? Damn, I don't think I should be doing this. I don't think this is the right decision to make. I don't think we should go here. I don't think we should eat that. I don't think we should live here. And that's your judgment. And you pervert it for this woman, and it makes you sorry for it. Now, next thing you know, let me read on from there. And the king was sorry, nevertheless, for the oath's sake, and for them which sat with him at meat, he commanded it to be given her. And he sent and beheaded John in the prison. So if it wasn't for this woman, John the Baptist would have still been alive, man. All because of what? A man giving his strength over to a woman. Had death to take place. Had things to not be in order. Let's go to the book, right? Let me get this quick precept. Let's go to the book of so many precepts. I ain't trying to make this too long. Bear with me. Let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 9. in verse, Salakia, chapter 7 and verse number 29. Let's go to it. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 29. It says, but this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they which have wives be as though they had none, and they that weep as though they wept not, and they that rejoice as though they have not rejoiced not, and they that buy as though they possess not, and they that use the world and not abuse it, for the fashion of the world passeth away. But I say unto you, without carefulness, he that is unmarried care for the things that belongeth to the Lord. So this world is fashioning away, man, slowly. All hell was breaking loose, man, constantly. Famines, uproars, tornadoes, the economy's going down, famines, and you have to be in the spirit. So the Lord said, look, man, if you wasn't married, you would care for the things of the Lord, man. Things would be more in order and you would have more time management. It says, but he that is married care for the things that are of the world, how he may please his wife, man. Talking about taking her to so-called dinners, taking her to the movie theaters, what she wants, taking her shopping. Your mind's just wrapped up in a woman. And Paul knew that. Paul was a eunuch when he walked the earth. He didn't deal with a woman. Yahushua was a eunuch when he walked the earth. He didn't deal with a woman. A lot of men that have very, very high positions, you know, in the spirit, like past a bishop, you know, is moving in the spirit where they don't have a woman. Now, Yahushua is known as a bishop of our souls, and Paul set up bishops, but nevertheless in the spirit. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah. Right? Matter of fact, let's go to Genesis 3 and 16. Real fast. And it reads, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and in thy conception, and in sorrow shalt thou bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. So the desire of that woman should be unto the man, not the desire of the man, right? He's just yielding it unto the woman all day, man. And we have to beware of these things and be watchful and wise, because at any given time, us not remembering these precepts and casting forth emotions and things that override our judgments are going to put us in a situation to where we pervert our judgment and get overthrown. Let's go to the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 9 and verse. I'm gonna start at 40. I'm gonna start at 40. I'm gonna start at 39. It's the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 9 and 39. Then let I my thoughts go that I was in, and turned me unto her. So Ezra was in a deep thought in the spirit of the Most High, but he left his thoughts to, you know, help this woman and see what her problem was. And he said unto her, wherefore weepest thou? Why art thou so grieved in thy mind? And you may ask a woman that's weeping, she's sorrowful, she's sad, you know, what's going on? Are you okay? You rubbing her back, giving her tissues. It says, and she said unto me, sir, let me alone, that I may bewail myself. And that's what women do. A lot of women. They'll run into the next room, they'll cry, leave me alone. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to talk about it. And added to my sorrow, for I am sore vexed in my mind, and brought very low. So this woman, she's crying. She got tears coming down. She's trying to run away. And let's see how a wise man handles a judgment with crying. Because he didn't get overthrown by her cries. That shouldn't dictate your spirit of your judgment because somebody's crying. It says, and I said unto her, what availeth thee? Tell me. I mean, I have to know so I could judge the matter. That's the spirit he in. Not let me know, let me know. Just tell me. I need to know. She said unto me, I, thy servant, have been barren and have no children, though I had an husband 30 years. And those 30 years I did nothing else day and night and every hour but make my prayer to the highest. So you really crying and upset that the Most High didn't behold your prayers of having a child. It says, after 30 years, God heard me, thy handmaid, and looked upon my misery, and considered my trouble, and gave me a son. And I was very glad for him, of him. So my husband also, and all my neighbors, and we were great honor unto the Almighty. And I nourished him with great travail. So he grew up and came to the times that he should have a wife, and I made him a feast. So Ezra didn't just put his spirit to this woman because she was crying. He kind of folded his hands and put his hands on his chin to find out the matter before he gave a judgment. Verse 10, Shalaki chapter 10. And it was so, came to pass, that when my son was entered into his wedding chamber, he fell down and died. Then we all overthrew the lights, and my neighbors rose up to comfort me. So I took my rest until the second day and night. And it came to pass, when they had left all off to comfort me, and to the end I might be quiet, then rose I up by night and fled, and came hither to this field, as thou seest me. So she gave him the whole rundown of what happened. This is the point, right? Verse 4 and verse 5. And I do now purpose not to return into the city, but here to stay, and neither eat nor drink, but continually mourn. It's a fast until I die. So this woman said, look, I'm upset about a matter, about my son, and I'm going to fast and mourn until I die. I'm going to weep. I'm going to be sorry. I'm going to be sad. I'm going to mourn. I'm going to give my strength over to the spirit that's troubling me about my son. And I don't want nobody to help me. I don't want no problems. All I want to do is mourn continually. And I want to soak in my misery and depression. This is what Ezra said. Then left I the meditations wherein I was. Meaning I had a meditation, right, to help you. Meditations to find out the matter. Meditations of the Most High. But I left all of that now that I know the judgment. And spake unto her in anger, saying. Now somebody could be like, well, a woman is crying. Why do you have anger? Why do you have anger to this woman and she's crying? That's not nice. That's off. No, leave her alone. She's angry. She's upset. She's crying. Hey, Ezra said, it says, I was Slakia. Then I spake to her in anger, saying, thou foolish woman, above all other, seest thou not our mourning and what happeneth to us? Man, what are you making everything about you for, man? Everything isn't about you. Isn't about your crying. Isn't about your misery. There are greater things at hand. It could be the household at hand, and you're making it all about you. It could be the car or a job or a living situation, and you're making it all about you, and you're crying because you want whatever you want, man. And any fool is going to give his strength over to that. And peradventure, right, that situation happening, she'll be leading him instead of him leading her. And since that's not biblical, you both are going to fall into the pit because the blind is leading the blind. Because she can't see without her husband and Yahushua. And you can't see by letting her lead you. She has to see through you and Yahushua. It's a chain of command. You can't switch up the puzzle pieces and match them. Oh, this kind of matches. Oh, I didn't even know this matches, this puzzle piece. And it's in the wrong place, but it matches. Now you're getting perverted because the puzzle piece kind of match, but it's not looking like the picture's supposed to look. But just because it matches, you kind of running with it. Hey, Ezra, hey, look, he had righteous judgment. And one thing about Ezra, he was wise in the law. He knew the law. We read about that in 1 Esdras, the 8th chapter, man. So this man was very strong and wise in the law. And he gave a judgment pertaining to things that are in the law. Right? Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 7. Right? That's the book of Proverbs, right? Chapter 7. And I'm going to start at, Salaki, bear with me. I'm going to start at 8. I'm going to start at 7. It says, and I beheld among the simple ones, I discerned among the youths a young man void of understanding. So this man is just out in the streets, void of understanding, not knowing which way to go. In Proverbs, the 7th chapter, is talking about America. But twofold, it could be talking about a wicked, whorish woman. It says, passing through the streets near her corner, and he went the way to her house. And in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night. Why does it say that in the twilight, evening, black and dark night 4 times? It lets you know how dark, how nobody's around, and how evil coming to this woman by night is, man. It says, and behold, there met him a woman with the attire of an harlot and a subtile of heart. Because a woman can have the subtlety to get whatever she want from you, man. Take your chain, your shoes, right? You sitting up there with her and you wake up the next day, your watch is gone, your wallet. Women are very subtle, man. You sitting up there, she asks you to buy her a drink at the bar. Next thing you know, man, somebody see you pulling out your wallet, you get robbed when you go out the so-called bar. You got to beware of the subtlety by Satan. And Satan is going to use that woman. It says, she is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house. And that's spiritual, and that's twofold. Because America's loud. They're always doing everything before the whole world. Their carnivals, their festivals, right? The NFL game, right? God bless America. Their handshakes, their culture. It's loud amongst the nations. And it's stubborn because they don't incline any other culture's ways, but they only push their own. And her feet not abide in her house, meaning she's always in what? Iran, Afghanistan, the Middle East, right? They're all in the 4 corners of the earth. Now, on another fold, she is loud and stubborn. You have to perceive by that woman not listening unto her husband that she's loud. She's going off. She's stubborn in her ways. If a woman isn't bucking up against her husband to defend the gospel of Yahushua, then she's never right in her disposition of her opinion. If her husband telling her to smoke or eat pork, she has to stand up for the truth. You have to. You have to defend the gospel. But if her husband, he says XYZ and we're leaving at 10:45 instead of 10:30, then you got to kind of go with that. Well, why do we have to leave it? We might be late. Well, we're going to be late. If we're late, then this is going to happen. And then that's going to happen. Matter of fact, I'm leaving early. I'll meet you down there. Just rebellion on small levels or high. It says, verse 12, now she is without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait at every corner. And that's what a philosophy and a wicked spirit will do. It'll lie in wait at every corner to deceive you. So she caught him and kissed him. How does America get to you? How does the strength of a man and the elect get sifted out? By seduction, man. Everything about seduction is going to lead you astray and overtake you. By not ruling over your members, by not being wise, by perverting judgment, by not looking at the severity of the situation and looking at everything carnal. You have to look at everything spiritual. Why out of nowhere she's asking for my number? I got flip-flops on and my shirt wrinkled. Why is out of nowhere this person hit my phone and I haven't talked to them in 3 years? Why am I running into this person at the gas station out of a sudden? Why is somebody asking about me that I haven't talked to in 4 years? Because it's Satan. It says, so she caught him and kissed him, and with an impudent face said unto him, meaning what? She grabbed him. She forced him. She damn near raped him, man. And pressing, when you look up that word rape, it's not always how a lot of people break it down. Rape is essentially doing something you don't want to do. That's literally what the word means. An act of God knows what, of what you just don't want to do. It don't mean you have to fight. It don't mean you got to be in a dark alley. You got to be alone. You got to scream. That's adding unto it, which essentially is going with it. But all you have to say is one word, no. So America rapes you, man. Wicked women try to do that to you verbally to overcome the household. They take advantage of things that are already set down Like it says in Maccabees that they molest us and no more matters. Talking about the so-called white man, meaning press out an issue over and over and molest the situation. It says, so she caught him and kissed him, and with an imputed face said unto him, I have peace offerings with me this day. I had paid my vows. So yeah, your woman may not yell at you to the point where you say, okay, you got it. You're the man, I'm the woman. No, she'll yield and rub your arms. And you give any second thought of that whatever it's called, man? Right? You give any second thought of going here, or did you think twice and can my mother come and stay with us? Fix you a nice dinner. Right? It's all seduction. It says, therefore came I forth to meet thee diligently, to seek thy face, and have found thee. And I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry, with carved works of fine linen of Egypt. Meaning she's going to use the most chiefest things to sift you out, to get your mind not according to hers. So like according to hers, I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. And myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon are spiritual, because Yahushua is likened unto frankincense and myrrh. And cinnamon is one of the chief spices when you're making an apothecary ointment, right, in the law. So they're using things on the right-hand side to deceive you on the left-hand side. Come, let us take and fill our love into the morning. Let us succor ourselves with love. For the good man is not at home. He is gone on a long journey. And that's spiritual, because the good man is Yahushua. He's not at home, meaning he's not on the earth right now, because he's going to dwell in the midst of the children of Israel forever. That's where he's going to set his throne. And he is gone on a long journey, meaning he went to the third heaven. He have taken a bag of money with him, and he will come home at the day appointed. And a bag of money that he took is what he's going to give back as a reward, as a penny a day. And he will come back at a day appointed, meaning whenever Yahweh Shem Yahushua gives a decree for Yahushua to come back on earth. This is the point. If you haven't heard anything, you have to hear this point right here. Verse 21. With her much fair speech, she calls him to yield. So if a woman want to talk about something 17 times, if she's adamant on an issue and you've already said no, if she's telling you over and over like that wicked woman from Samson to press him day by day, like this woman was sore vexed in 2nd Esdras, the 9th and 10th chapter, you have to recall these accounts, man. Now, whether she go off and run away, whether she go off and tell a lie to somebody else, or whether she go off or, get another husband, or whether she go off and go to Chicago or go to Texas and leave, brother, you have maintained your integrity, man. And the Most High will be the righteous judge. And the Most High will behold the judgment of what you made as a man of the Lord. Not yielding what you want to try to save your household. It's not in the Bible. Give her what she want to save the house. Because it carnally puts a band-aid on something that's really a cut and a dagger, which was bleeding out, man. And you put a band-aid on it because you gave your strength over to her. And that band-aid is going to peel off, man. You know what the Lord going to do? He's going to open up that cut. It's going to be a whirlwind of problems and issues because you gave your mind, your spirit, and your thoughts unto this woman and her chief desires. It says, with her much fair speech, she calls him to yield. So America doesn't force you. They don't lock you up and make you eat pork. They put famous Daves on every corner. Bob Evans, IHOP. The American dream of family and breakfast is to have pork and bacon, man. They cause you to yield by the much fair things they do over and over and over. Put drugs on every TV show. Violence on every TV show. They force you by continuously doing the same thing in 1,000 different ways. Commercials, TVs, right? Friendships, households, families. America's customs and America's fair speech cause the weak to yield to it, man. And how hard is it to stand alone in the world when everybody else is enticing you to do witchcraft and evil? Sometimes you got to depart from that woman, man. You just got to take a step back. Look, you off. You going off. Look, I'm not doing that. I said no. Look, this is where we're gonna live. Look, this is what we're gonna read for the day. We're reading one more chapter. We're fasting one more day. It is what it is. And if there's rebellion or anything against it, then you got to take up that judgment with the Most High. Because I haven't told you to do anything other than to follow your husband and keep these laws, statutes, and commandments and follow after righteousness. Now, if your husband is telling you carnal things, pass me the remote. And it's all the way in the garage. You don't do it, you're going to be put to death. That's a wicked judge. And the Most High going to get up with him too. All judgment pertaineth to Yahweh. And he's going to righteously judge the situation and deliver that woman out of distress or deliver that man out of distress. It says, with the flattery of her lips, she forced him. He goeth after her straightway as an ox to the slaughter. Now, an ox may take what? A mile to go to the slaughter. Maybe a long mile of other oxen that are before it. And that ox doesn't know what's going on. Through the way to the slaughter, he may feel like things are getting better. The sun's coming out more. The wind is calming down. But as soon as he gets to that slaughter, he's going to mark and be angry at him putting himself in that situation to follow after that line in the first place. Or as a food to the correction of the stocks, till a dart strike through his liver, and a bird hasten to the snare, and knoweth not that it is for his life. Hearken unto me now, therefore, O ye children, and attend to the words of my mouth. Let not thine heart decline to her ways. And we're talking about America right now. Because America ways are going to lead you to astray. America's what? Decked up in heels, pearls, jewels. Hey, read Revelations, the 17th chapter. And what is she going to do? She's going to sit on all the nations. So we have to perceive that having your heart decline into a way, you have to perceive how wicked that is, man. When did the Lord liken the kingdom of heaven until pork? Liken the kingdom of heaven into murder? Liken the kingdom of heaven into adultery? It's not in the Bible, because it's not a good similitude to do, man. But you know what the Lord likened wickedness to? A woman. The Lord likened seduction and lies, philosophy, wine, and things to sift you out the truth to a woman. Not all women. I got to continue to say that. There are so many righteous sisters that are on fire for the Lord that do not fit anywhere close to the similitude of what the Most High put down. But just like you have a lot of men that are dealing in God knows what, you have that small remnant of the elect. You have that small remnant of the elective women that do everything they can do to magnify the name of the Lord. And those sisters' names are written in the book of life, man. From repenting, by washing themselves, by being submissive and humble, by not yielding, until their husband lies and folly and witchcraft and sorcery and all manner of idolatry, by abstaining from their own wants and needs for the benefit of the household in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Those sisters are going to receive a crown, man. Now it says, to the wicked, hearken unto me, therefore, O ye children, and attend to the words of my mouth. Let not thine heart decline to her ways. Go not astray in her paths. For she have cast down many wounded. Yea, many strong men have been slain by her. And we're continuously talking about the strong men, man. It's a lot of brothers that fell out the truth because of women. Fell out the truth. Whether she committed adultery on him, then their mind wasn't right, and he just left through sorrow, right through a woman, whatever the case may be, and took the children and left. Now his mind's not right. He fell out the truth. Or because he perverted his way so much. She passed him a cigarette. She passed him weed. She said, don't go to camp. Stop doing the work of the Lord. Spend more time with me at home. You know what? Relax. You know what? This camp doctrine. Where you see the word, thou must join the camp in the Bible? Start sifting out his mind, man. Now you start listening to it. Well, you right. Yeah, I do kind of miss that. I don't see the word weed in the Bible, so maybe I can do it. Maybe I can do this. Maybe he started trimming his ways for love. And what did the Lord do, man? by him not being strong and casting down his iron fist in righteousness, now he's out the truth. Now your uncle, your grandfather, these men, these ancient men that have taught you the right way, and our fathers in the scriptures, which have counseled you to do things, you don't want to do it because you don't want to see that frown on their face. You don't want to see her upset. You don't want to see nothing coming to pass of your honey cake or whatever the case may be, man. You got to care about what the Lord's words are. Judgment of the Most High. To not fear man and fear woman. Because peradventure the Lord take away that situation and that wife from you. What did you do? You kept the law of the Lord and the Most High. And if it has to happen, it has to happen. You know, every family isn't going to stay together, man. And Yahweh came for division. Last time I checked, the Lord said, him that leaveth father, mother, houses, wife, family, for my name's sake should receive 100-fold in the kingdom. In Matthew chapter 19, verse 28 all the way down. It says, she have cast down many wounded. Yeah, many strong men have been slain by her. Her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death. So you can go down to death, chambers of hell, and all things by inclining your heart and spirit to an evil and wicked woman, man. So that's something you have to highly consider and be diligent and watch in all things to consider, man. Right? But let me close out with this last precept. Let's go to Revelation. And I'm going to say this one more time before we close out. Brothers, don't forget who you are, man. Don't forget that all prophecy pertaineth to man. In-depth mysteries. Being the elect. The 144,000. Rulership of cities. Sitting down at the table with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All that pertains to a man. Getting the household in order. The spoils of war. A crown and preeminence of glory. Everything pertains to a man. Let me get that real fast in 1 Esdras chapter 4. Real fast. This 1 Esdras. So I can bear with me. Get this quick precept. This 1 Esdras chapter 4 and verse number 2. O ye men, do not men excel in strength, that bear rule over sea and land and all things in them? So, I mean, we talking about land, sea, animals, dominion, women, children. Don't forget that, man. And don't be beaten down mentally and spiritually to think that you have to compromise anything for wickedness. This Revelation chapter 3 and verse 2. Be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die. For I have not found thy works perfect before God. Remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come in thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. So if you're not watching these prophecies and being diligent, the Lord said he's going to visit you like a thief in the night, man. When you least expect it, right? When you least expect it, the Lord is going to visit you and he's going to blow your candlestick out. So continue to read, pray, fast, repent, hold yourself diligently, right, to the faith. Don't give your strength over to a woman, right? Examine yourself daily and do the works of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. But with that, I'm going to close out, giving all honor and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Shalom.